guys, welcome back to another video on the channel today. Today we're bringing you a video on Gran Turismo Sport. I recently bought the game just before Christmas when it was in the 12 days of Christmas deal. It had been reduced down to $24.99, I think it was. At the moment we're just showing you a race from an online race. It's a structured system, a little bit similar to iRacing. I've been putting off buying this game because mainly due to money, but before the game came out I was very critical of this game. A lot of you on Twitter may have seen me say some things that I didn't like the look of it and stuff, but the beta came out a month or so before the release of the game, and I gave it a go, and I really enjoyed the handling. It gave me a sense of fun I haven't got from a game since probably Drive Club. A lot of people are probably thinking, oh my god, you know, simulation driver likes a game like that, but it was really fun. I enjoyed it, and this has got a similar type of feel where it's more simulation than Drive Club, but it's not as simulation as games like Assetto Corsa, iRacing. You know, the physics are not up there with them. They're not going to reach them levels, but the game is really enjoyable and it's structured, which is the best thing. You know, Project Cars 2, great game, but lacks a structured online system for racing. The only way you're going to get clean, consistent racing is driving in a league, for example. Gran Turismo has its daily races, it has the FIA events once you get the S license, which I'm on my way to getting. We'll give some more information on that further on in the video. But as you can see now, this is just a daily race that you get up against. This was when I was a B license and it was quite late in the night, so it puts you with a couple of because there's less people to race against, you end up racing some of the faster guys. A Team Redline driver was in this race there. You can see I actually overtook him, I think it was on lap 1 going into the tight hairpin. And the driver there, I think he got a slowdown for cutting the corner or going wide or something there. So we managed to gain a position there, and we're now in second position, as you can see there, doing reasonably well. A lot of these races in the GT3 is all about saving fuel, you know, fuel management. You can see on the bottom right corner me lean on the power mix. I've got it on 3 there where I'm saving fuel. I'm only a B class driver at the moment. A few of the drivers ahead of me, I think the guy ahead of me was either an A or an S. The TRL guy was an S rated driver. We're doing okay so far. I'm really enjoying this game. It's actually surprised me how much I'm enjoying this game. It's much better than I expected. It's not like, I say, a set of Corsa simulation, but it puts a smile on your face, and that is the main thing. So there's going to be a lot of videos from Gran Turismo probably coming to my channel because it's got me back in the mood for racing on console. You can see there I pulled a really nice move, tried to squeeze me, but I stayed on the right hand side. Gave him a little bit of space, I think I gave him a little bit of a nudge, and then the TRL guy came behind as I was trying to get back on the track and make sure I took the tight line. He gave me a little bump up the rear. Don't think it was deliberate, I think it was just the way we were on the track. But now we're in the lead of this race and we've got the TRL guy right behind us. Not sure what fuel strategy he was on. I get the feeling he may have been saving fuel a lot for the last 2 laps, but you're going to see what happened anyway as the race progressed. But like I say, yeah, there's going to be a lot of videos coming to the channel for GT Sport. I plan on, at the moment, I mean, I started off being about 1.5 seconds behind the speed. Now I'm getting to within half a second to 0.6 of a second from the top 10 time stars that it shows you the top driver. I'm normally within 7 tenths of that driver, so we've made a lot of progress so far. I intend to bring you guys a lot of videos on track guides, setups when I get into that, but at the moment it's all fixed setups. But I think track guides are going to be the most important thing for GT Sport, and strategies. I'm going to try and give you guys some strategies for the races that come about, and just so you guys have got a database of what tracks you want to fuel save on, what tracks to go flat out on, what tracks not to pit on, etc. And also give you guys a general guide for the GT3 cars. At the moment the 911 is probably the fastest in terms of a 1 lap pace, but what I found out recently, just last night, was it lacks at the moment on the current BOP, it lacks a fuel efficiency. So you'll find a lot of people do their qualifying lap in this car and then they'll race in something like the M6 or the Aston Martin Vantage or even the Dodge Viper. I've seen a few racing and they seem much better on the fuel consumption than this 911. So it's got swings and roundabouts. You know, people say this car's OP, but it's not. Its fuel consumption is not the best, and that's probably why it's one of the fastest, because in a race situation it's not going to be the fastest unless it's a track that you have to pit and you need to obviously refuel. You can probably go flat out from the start, and you probably it'll be a very close race with the other cars. They still will have the advantage on the fuel consumption because they'll have to put less fuel in at the pit stop. But like I say, this game has really surprised me. I didn't expect to like it before the beta, and I only had about 10-15 minutes on the game, and I really enjoyed it because the servers weren't properly working when I tried to get on the beta. But I did manage to get a few laps driving the Mercedes AMG around one of the tracks, and I really did enjoy the experience I got on the game. So we got the game. We were a bit late to the party, obviously. The game's been out for a while. We're behind with speed, but I've caught up a lot, I feel, within about 7 days to, 7-8 days or something like that. I've had the game. I've managed to get myself very close to the top drivers. In this race, you can see that we're in first position. The TRL guys still behind us there, but we're holding our own against these S-Class drivers, and I feel we're going to get that S-Class. At the moment, we're sitting on an A-rated driver with an S license for safety, but I think the S license is going to be coming to us for the driving. As even when I had a race last night, I finished 4th, and it was 5 or 6 S-rated drivers in there, some fast guys. I did start 2nd, but because I was driving this Porsche and the fuel consumption, I was just literally trying to save fuel the whole race, and I could see the difference on the straights. I was just getting left behind by the other cars. So we've learned that lesson now, so our race pace is going to be stronger on tracks like that. But for Brands Hatch, it wasn't as much of an issue because obviously there's not really any long straights, and you can get away with saving fuel throughout the race. You can see the TRL guy there pulls and move on us on the inside. I kept it on the outside here. I get the feeling he was saving fuel because he didn't pull away too much, so I went wide so I can get a tighter line through the corner and get on the power early. I actually went to the 1 fuel set, and you can see the difference in the power now. So this is why I know he was saving fuel there. As you can see how easily we've got past, so I put it straight back to the fuel saving setting now 5, because I knew straight away there that he's saving fuel for the last few laps. So I just wanted to make sure I'm in a position where I can race him at the end. Overall, really enjoying the experience. There has been some bad parts to it. If you don't get if you start dropping your license in terms of safety rating down to maybe B or C or etc. I think mine went down to B at one point because of one race where I literally got destroyed by other cars, and the safety rating really does need some work. You get hit and your rating goes down, then it puts you in races against other similar light rated drivers of B and A, and trust me, B license for safety rating is not the best license. It's not good. It basically means you're racing with a lot of people that are not really that clean. So once you get that S license, that's what you want to be keeping, that safety rating at S, because you're going to find the racing in general is a lot cleaner, similar to like iRacing etc. It's just going to be a lot cleaner and just a lot more fun. One thing I will say about it is how the competition's really surprised me in this game, because obviously like iRacing's got very strong competition, but it's a very limited amount of people that have got the game because, one, the expense of it, the cost of buying DLC, the cost of buying new cars, etc., tracks and PCs. Gran Turismo is one console, one set price, and you get access to everything. And this has led to, like, if you go, I mean, I don't think I've been in a top split at the peak time, like between 7 and like 8 PM, where you're going to get the most people driving on the game. As a result, I've not experienced it where a lobby of just basically full S drivers, because I'm not an S driver yet. But I can only imagine the competition when you're in them type of lobbies is going to be extremely high, because obviously more people have got the game, so there's more people entering. There's probably hundreds to maybe thousands entering these daily races. So the top splits are going to be ultra competitive. Where on iRacing you've got like 8 splits on a very like busy period, maybe like 6 to 8 splits, normally 3. That's how much it normally is. It's normally like 2 to 3 splits on iRacing. This has probably got 30 plus splits or something. It's just so when you're in that top split and you've got your S license, the competition is going to be extreme. I've spotted a few drivers from iRacing on this game, so there is good drivers. You can see that we nearly lost the car there, managed to save it, but the TRL guy behind us did the exact same thing as us but lost the back end, and we've now got a comfortable lead over 2nd place. It's just about maintaining the speed now. I'm really happy with this because like the guy behind me is 2nd, is a S-rated driver, and he was one of the fastest in the top 10 stars on a lot of the tracks I've seen. And the TRL Org guy is one of the fastest as well. So I know that in terms of race pace, when the car is competitive, I can compete with these S-rated drivers. So it's good to see straight away, with just the 7 days on the game, I can compete with the fastest drivers on the game. I actually don't mind using, again, I don't know what it is about, since iRacing I've kind of liked to keep the steering wheel on the screen. I know you can't take it off of Gran Turismo, but I mean on Gran Turismo you can't take the steering wheel away like you can on Project Cars, but I quite enjoy seeing it there now. It kind of gives you an idea of the inputs you're putting in. I know you can see it on your steering wheel, obviously it's in front of you, but when you're looking at the screen you can kind of see like the inputs you're putting in and whether you're putting a bit too much in. You start learning the handling. That's one thing that you really do have to do with this game, is learn the little things within the handling. There's little points of you can feel it on the steering wheel where you're at the limit, and I'm starting to grasp that feeling that you get. So hopefully the lap times will come down. I can start giving you guys some really comprehensive guides on tracks for Group 4 cars, Group 3 cars. Not so much into the short 3-lap daily races in like the bus, etc. It's not my thing. I don't want to drive a minibus around the track. I mean, it might be fun, but it's not what I want to be doing. I want to be driving race cars. So most of my guides and etc. will be driving the GR3 and the GR4, and then when we get in the FIA season we'll be doing a lot of races uploading. Also we're going to be going to Twitch soon as well and doing a lot of streaming. I've managed to get a second screen set up for the PC. At the moment though I haven't got access to recording equipment for the PS4 so that I can use the Streamlabs etc and all that with playing on the PS4, so I do need to get myself something like that in the future, but at the moment I can stream from the PS4 to YouTube probably. So for Gran Turismo I'll be doing a lot of YouTube streaming probably, and Twitch. I can still do Twitch as well, but it's just that you won't get the notifications as easy of like when people are following and stuff. But once I've got all that set up and I'm gonna go ahead with obviously the streaming, and I'll be doing the qualifying daily, that you guys will be able to come and watch me taking part. You'll be able to pick up some tips from that, and obviously you're gonna be able to see the track that I'll be doing and tips. I'll try and give you guys tips while I'm driving. I probably won't do many races on the streaming when I'm doing the early part of the day. It'll be about getting the speed up for the qualifying, and then if I stream in the night it'll be more about the racing and how that's going. So you can see there now we're towards the end of this race. We're still maintaining that lead. I was just basically using the fuel and making sure I was just controlling the pace really. You can see the gaps constantly staying about the same rate. If I wanted to pull away I could use a bit more fuel. If I wanted to just like save the fuel, I had the ability to do it because I felt like I had the speed. And you can see there we're just keeping it consistent and trying not to make any mistakes, and just basically keeping it clean. And this is probably the best win I've had in terms of the competition, because there were some big guys in this race. You know, there's some S-rated drivers that are known on the game, the TRL, everyone knows Team Redline. And see, I think the guy behind me there is another good driver on the game. He's clearly got speed, but we managed to outpace him in this race. And I hope all that I can hope is that I'm going to get faster and faster and more consistent, etc. Because obviously there still is occasions when I'm making the odd mistakes because I'm not 100% used to the game yet, and that's just going to improve over time. And I have to say I'm really excited about this game. It's so much better than what I expected. I have to say it's really addictive because you've got, obviously it's similar to iRacing in terms of your rating, you can see it going up, and that's what every racing game should have, I think. You know, you've got games like Project Cars 2 that came out, you know, it's got all this safety rating and driver rating, but there is literally no point in that in my view if you haven't got a scheduled race system, like an organised structured race system where you have official races where your rank can go up and down, which you can't decide. You know, you can go in a public lobby and set your own conditions to make it beneficial to you, or join a lobby and then get taken out by some idiot. You know, it's not the best way to do it. The best way is an organised structure like iRacing or GT Sport. They've got it perfect. You join a race, you put with similar people. Obviously, depending on the time you're racing, obviously when you're lower license, it takes time to build up. You're going to end up with, you know, I went through a race, I think it was like 14 races in a row I won because I was obviously going through to E, C, B driver, etc. I was racing people that I wouldn't normally be put against, so I had more speed than them, so it was fairly easy at the early stages. But that's exactly the same as iRacing when you're in the rookie stages. If you've got ability, you do find the races fairly simple and quite easy to win. So once you're at the higher stages, I think the point hits when you get A license. That's when you start getting some really good races. Obviously I'm B at this point, but it was a later on race, so I managed to get in a lobby with A and S drivers. So once you get your obviously a license higher, that's when the game's really going to kick in. So you really do need to put the effort into this game. So anyway guys, I hope you're looking forward to seeing some track guides, some proper guides on obviously driving technique. I'd started doing the licenses, but I found them fairly easy, a bit too easy. But obviously the full lap time attacks that you can do on it, they're good to do the guides on. I've got loads of footage stored on the hard drive, so I've just got to go through it and do the track guys. Some of the laps are not going to be as good as some of the others, because obviously when I first got the game I thought a lap was good and I saved it when it wasn't probably perfect, but that's only going to get better as time goes on, and we can keep bringing you guys these guides. And little things about brake bias as well. I found out that having the brake bias more towards the rear, obviously it's obvious that would be, but I end up going maximum rear on some tracks, a couple away from it on other tracks. It all depends on the track you're on and how much brake bias you want. You want to experiment with that brake bias. It can gain you at least 2 to 3 tenths on a track, and it's important, especially with the way they do the time trial qualifying, which isn't my preference of what they should do. I personally think it should be a similar system to iRacing. You should be grouped into the races with the people that are similar license, and then you should have 2 hot laps to get your best lap in. Doing a time trial qualifying for me means that someone who's really good at pushing the limits in time trial is going to be at the front, but they're not going to be necessarily that great at qualifying in a proper situation. My strength is qualifying within in a proper situation. That's always been one of my better abilities, as like compared to time trial. Time trial, I always find myself at least 3-4 attempts, maybe half a second off the top times, because I have trouble pushing that real limit of the thing. I kind of drive to how I drive in a real qualifying session, whereas when you're driving time trial, you're pushing the limits further than what you really should be able to. Anyway guys, hope you've enjoyed this little update on the channel. There's going to be a lot more videos coming, because I've got so much footage already backdated, like from the last week, and it's only going to get more and more as I go on. So thanks for watching this video. I really look forward to getting more of this content to you. This Project Cars 2 videos will still continue. It's possible I might do some Assetto Corsa as well in the future. I'm not too sure. There probably will be some more footage coming from that when I stream, etc. And anyway guys, thanks for watching, and I'll be back very soon.